Hi, this is Melanie Burke from Fifth and Hazel, and today we're continuing our series on designing tips for booyah post and how to make it really pinnable. And today we're going to talk a little bit about white space. I always like to remember to give it breathing room. It is so important to have white space to help the eye visually move from item to item. And I see a lot of designers as they're starting out, that's one of the things that they have the most difficult time is giving breathing room. So here you can see is a post that I've started to get ready. That I've made it one long image with lots of images on top of it so that it can all be linkable and work together in Pinterest. And you can see that I've dragged in all these images and they're really overlapping and there's just so much information, and that's okay, but we need to add white space to visually enhance this and separate it. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to grab my artboard and I'm going to drag it up and start to really give it some more breathing room. So I might go ahead and either make that bigger. We'll just first off just separate everything and give it lots of white space. Now the other thing that I see a lot of designers, beginning designers do, is that they're really not paying attention to the grid. Even if it's artsy and flowing, you want to make sure that things are consistent. So you can see I'm pulling out rulers to make sure that everything is the same size because I want it to look consistent and look really nice and clean. And you can see this image is way off as far as size. So we'll go ahead and drag that out so that it's consistent. You can see I've started to add some white space and it's just starting to feel a little bit more breathable. And instead of trying to cram it all next to each other, why not just add a little bit more white space? Maybe make it bigger. Let's separate all these out. A lot of times is just you need to give the eye, especially online, when people are online, they skim, and so it's really important to give people breathability, room to breathe, and this clean space so that they feel that their eye can flow. So you can see I'm just really paying attention to have white space above and below each thing and really asking myself, what is the purpose of each of these, So you can see it's really starting to look better with that white space. Now to enhance the white space, I've drawn these grids and I've scanned them in. I've drawn these by hand. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring this on top. Now you don't necessarily have to do that. And in another video we're going to talk about using vector images and everything. But you can see that I've added these, and because I've added this, I need to make sure that I have even more white space. So once you start adding, you can see that what I keep doing is instead of trying to cram, I'm just slowly adding things, thinking, okay, do I want it to be that way? Maybe I want to vary the typefaces here. But I'm always trying to make sure my biggest focus is that there's always white space and room to breathe, because that will really help your post stand out and be really clean. So you can see I keep working on this and just the give and flow of making sure that I have white space. Now I'm going to show you this same image that I did earlier, but you can see how it's a little bit different, but how I've given it lots of white space around it, that even though I have all these banners, and maybe this one I offset just a little bit, but I gave it lots of white space, and I knew that on my blog there would be white space, but I knew that on Pinterest it would really need to stand out, and there's just lots and lots of cleanness and open area. So that is my biggest tip, is use that white space.